welcome to another 2024 League match. This is in this match we have Landsknecht playing the Hunters and Geo playing as Dracula. This is actually the first game in the league for both of them, so let's see how. And Landsknecht is also one of the newer members that is competing in the league, so let's see how they do. To both of you. Good luck to both of you. Alright. Let's see. London. Okay, yeah, it's typical. Whole thing there. Is this just superhero starts with them in Vienna? Yep. So Landsknecht is opting for the superhero start. I have not yet played against Landsknecht nor seen him play any games myself, so I myself don't know anything about him. We'll see how he does. It will be rather informative for me to actually see him in action, see how he see how he reacts and all that. Gio, of course, has competed in the past two tournaments of New Blood and the Immortal Invitational Eames tournament. The latter, which he won along with Scott Sword. So Gio is definitely a fearsome adversary. Landsknecht, as I said, I don't know anything about him, but his skill level could be practically anything. Alright, let the week one supply train begin. What's Landsknecht just typing something up, or it's possible. Okay, scouts first to draw. Alright, let's see where he pokes at. Will he be able to snipe him? Okay, not Amsterdam nor Bari. The thing about that, Landsknecht, if you watch this, is Amsterdam and Bari are places where you would want to search after he places an encounter, that's not where he would begin. So I think that's a slight mistake there, but what else? I suppose I likely would have poked at Bologna and Rome. So Mia got excellent weather, eh? And a rifle. Okay. Yeah, excellent weather. I mean, well, it's better if it's face down, obviously. As with practically any event, that's the case. Excellent weather is one that's not as bad, since that gets used far less frequently. the fact that Skrrak knows it's about might deter him from later on in the game going to Cagliari. Depending on whether or not Lanchneck chooses to use that early. Local rumors. Wow. Blanche is drawing stuff willy-nilly. Very few Drac events to start with so far. So far there's just been one. Oh, spoke too soon apparently. There's another one. Let's see. Yeah. There's not all that much to say during the first week. At least not until some aspect of Dracula's trail is revealed. Allowing the scribe to play bullets? Okay. Normal enough. I suppose you might call that normal enough. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, the typical misdirect to your starting location. Scouts again. Okay. This time there's a little bit more that he might find. Strasbourg and Sophia. Alright, yeah, I can definitely see those. Oh, Jonathan Harker. That's definitely nice. At the very least, he'll have one day where he'll know where that spot is. Mia has a surprising return. Well, in that case, I might have searched with Harker, but it's debatable. When you have a surprising return around, you could have summoned him like on day 5 if he hasn't found a newspaper by then. But well, so there's pros and cons both ways. Okay, so apparently Geo started off as a vampire. Let's see what we got. Garlic and garlic wreath. Alright. Discarding a stake. Hmm. Well, if I'm a Drac, I would now say that Seward is a bit scary if he's discarding a stake. Hmm. Newspaper reports? No. Unfortunate. Kay discarded her rifle and is now showing a holy circle. Hmm. I don't know exactly what Mina has in hand, but I would uh, but I would have just simply just tossed the holy circle. I mean, I don't know. As I said, I don't know what she has, but I don't know under what circumstances I would keep a holy circle over a rifle, and on top of that show the holy circle. I, holy circle is definitely like one of the few items you definitely want to keep as a surprise, like 100% of the time. I mean, definitely not 100%. Let me rephrase that as it's definitely far more effective when Drac doesn't know that you have it. So, and there could still be an early newspaper in one of their hands. I mean, allowing us 2 events, Seward has 2, Van Helsing has 1, Mina has a full hand, one of which is surprising return. So 2 unknown. So there's a total of 7 events. Okay, wolf form. Makes sense, doing it, making it so that it's just within range, the wolf form is just within range of the wipe of the, okay. Oh, I hope you don't go using that. Because Long Night, by general consensus, is just the worst event of the lot. Okay. Evil Presence. Okay, well that rules out Spain, unless he only just left Spain. Hmm. Let's see. Another crucifix. So that's now both crucifixes gone. Discarding the dogs. Oh, now Mina has to discard an event. Shame. Well, wonder how many horses he's found at this point. I in probability, by probability, he's likely found 2. Uh, yeah. Considering that they are, I think, precisely 2/3 of the way through the item deck, or if not precisely, then very close to 2/3 of the way through the item deck, probability states that they'll have found 2 of the horses, at least. So, yeah. Ah, he did have another one. Galats. Alright. Very well. So, if you've got horses and have good horse economy, it's time to get moving. Or even if you simply have a couple of 2. Oh, that works too. Charter carriage. I get you there in one day. Considering that only one stake has been discarded, I imagine Gul'daman will have one. Let's see. No ambush. That seems to say that it's an aristocratic. Because otherwise, be it reckless or new vampire, there would likely be an ambush. Rufus Smith. I would search with this. And then, okay. Interesting. So he went to Klausenberg before going to Bucharest. That's intriguing. Yeah, Mina still not having the ideal hand? Alright. Well, he has a spare day due to getting there on day 5 rather than day 6. So... So if I were Landsknecht, I would have Seward check Zagreb before doing anything else, because Dracula could have easily wolf-horned to Sarajevo, then went to Zagreb and is now sitting in Munich. Okay, Yeah, but he's giving Dracula free access to the central part of the map now, where it will be possibly even harder than to follow him. Okay, Mina's moving my rail. Alright. So Seward has a horse. Good to know, good to know. Yeah, Gul'daman working on horse economy. So, what have we got here? Saboteur. Unfortunate. And he does not reveal an item card. Well, considering that that's a Saboteur, that's not all that remarkable. That could easily be a bluff. Although, given how Landsknecht is newer, I think that he likely would have. So now, Gul'daman can check out Bucharest, see what's there. Gul'daman also has a horse. You got a 2, but at the same time... Oh, well now, that's interesting. I would definitely start bring Van Helsing off because I'm. So how exactly is Drac gone? Wolf form to Sarajevo, then backtrack to Belgrade and Sofia? Maybe? Uh, and then now he's on the coast? All the dogs are in the discard. Bats. Lots of delaying stuff. Yeah, he very neat. I would say neatly surrounded all his vampire glance with a lot of protection. At a guess, I would say Bucharest is likely going to be another delaying encounter of sorts. The other bats, the other saboteur. We'll see. Let's see. He's choosing to mature the saboteur. Okay, but I mean, okay, that's not the biggest deal to hunters. I might have put it there to block the road from Klausenberg to Bucharest to make it harder for Sue to get there. But then again, okay, yeah, apparently it is another, Considering that he chose to move Goldaming there too, I'm going to make a guess that this is a Wolvesworm mob, something that'll hit multiple hunters at once. It is the other saboteur, as I had guessed earlier. Now the question is, where did he wolf form to? My guess would be either Szeged or Sarajevo. For it to really mean anything and yet end up at Sofia, those are kind of the... They didn't go to Budapest, so it actually could be there. Well, no. Well, in that case, no, because then he wouldn't have been able to make it back. Fake wolf form to Constanta. Interesting. Alright. And the thing is that Langenek had Harker by then, so why bother doing a fake wolf form? I think that was a slight error on Gio's part. Yes, you get it back from the vampire wipe, but you just took 1 damage when you know that they'll get to at least figure out what that location was. I suppose in the event the vampire goes off, that's not true. But at the same time, I definitely have my doubts about whether that was exactly appropriate. Okay. walls. Alright. So Goldaming has a rifle. At least he didn't get delayed this time. I think that at this point Dracula is likely going to see. Although it depends on how deep into the coast he is, if at all. I mean, if he took a risk and did Sarajevo, Zagreb, Munich, and then placed the roadblock down there to simply make them reinforce the basic thought that he's going to be down there, not impossible. He could actually be sitting on Valona at present. Jonathan Harker tells us that, Varna's next. That was a bit obvious after Constanta was revealed. What I'm curious about is what has he done after Sophia? Alright, let's... move along to Varna. Oh. Well, in that case, yeah, he only gets to protect Belgrade. A bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And at the same time, that's the fact that he's moved 4 times by land, I suppose it still could be Salonika, Valona, Athens, Hyde, or does Hyde just somewhere in that mix of ports? But basically, if he doesn't go to sea next turn, on his next turn, then I would assume that he's begun to move into the center of the map, and is now somewhere like Zurich or Nuremberg. A hoax. Whoa. Good thing he managed to stop that. I mean, there aren't the most Drac events there, but neither are there none. I don't know him. So far I would say that this is going well for Dracula because he still has a pretty full trail, and is still at nearly full HP. And on the other hand, Drac hasn't gotten any influence yet, so... Yep, it wasn't ports. He's now over here somewhere. Unless, well, considering how he's been filtering his lairs, he may actually have like circled back around like that. It's not impossible, unlikely, but not impossible. And well, we can't rule anything out yet. So I will say that the hunters seem to have very few events. So that's. I mean, Harker's gonna do some more work for Lanchnik. Sarajevo, yep. Yep. Considering how the hunters have been moving, their movement implies that the third horse is still somewhere in the draw pile. In which case, Lanchnek should be supplying a little bit more to try to find it. Because all that moving that Mia has done, that could have been done a good deal faster if, like, say if the top one was a horse and she picked it up. It could have been done like twice as fast. At least so long as the ticket economy cooperated. Oh dear. The awkward thing is Sophia is now lair, so he may have placed a baths or something here. A new vampire in a lair? That seems to... That implies that either Dracula's entire hand was vampires, or he intended to circle back to this place. That's very interesting. That is very interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely not a new vampire, or basically any type of vampire, barring an aristocratic, is it where some people will just, for the sake of cycling cards, will just shove an aristocratic into a lair. Oh. Yep. Well, I hope that someone has a way to get to Sarajevo, because that could be a hoax. That could be a vampire. Yep. Now Mia does have a holy circle, so she goes in. Yeah, not a bad idea. Scant and Germany. Or not. Oh, forewarned. Yeah, it's quite an inconvenience if he does do that. So if she does get batted, then I think that it's actually a good idea to forewarn that. I definitely think it's justified. All right, aristocratic gone. But what was in here? I personally am going to guess that it's. I think I'm going to guess that it's a reckless that's about to mature there. Either that or another aristocratic. Not in Germany right now. Yeah, this is definitely looking good for Dracula. I mean, he hasn't gotten any influence yet, unless he... Oh, scratch that. Now he's gotten some influence. However, that does clear up the trail a little, so that they can start focusing on the long-term goal of catching him a little bit more. Hmm. My goodness, Godalming is just having bad horse economy. The problem is we don't know whether he... Well, I suppose Van Helsing was at Vienna before he was at it was in Vienna uh, before Munich, so... Okay, unfortunately the spot after Munich got wiped as well, so going to Nuremberg there's little point in going to Nuremberg. Oh. Well now, that's nice. So I expect that he'll do a psychic bond. Okay. Not going down into the boots. Let's see. Yeah, I do think that goodness gracious. Why? Okay, so that means he went either Milan, then Geneva, then Marseille. Except that Mina was in Milan, so he was actually. So I think that the timings of things make it so that yes, it has to be Geneva, not Milan. So that's definitely rather revealing. Yeah, I do think that Langeneck should be supplying a bit more, trying to find that third horse and all that. Because that would definitely help quite a bit. I mean, they might also want to work on trying to improve the horse economy, because the fact that we've seen that Godalming keeps slow rolling definitely isn't helping either. But that's simply RNG in this case. Yeah. So far, only 2 stakes in the discard. One of which actually got used. So it's entirely possible that Mia could have a stake. Not in Gallia right now. So unless he's been doing some very clever dodging and weaving, and well, no, she scanned Italy. No, I think that yeah, I think that means that Dracula is down in Spain. I don't think there's any other option at this point. Because 2 moves, he He would have, in order to go to Italy, he would have had to, without, with knowing that, knowing as I do that this is Geneva, going, landing in Italy in 2 moves, not simply one. That would have been very specific. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. He was just in either Saragossa or Barcelona. I now know that. So, will Van Helsing now move and move to Geneva? Because someone has to clear the trail. You can't just let another vampire through. I mean, although if I had to guess, there aren't any vampires at least in these 3. Oh, it was Genoa. Okay, so he went Venice first after Munich, and then Genoa. Okay, so, apparently I was mistaken there. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. A hoax. Alright. Desecrated soil. Well, we haven't had any heavenly hosts discarded yet, so it's definitely plausible that Van Helsing would have one. Oh, only discarding 2. Interesting. And the Van Helsing does indeed have one. Let's see. Alright, choose to put a rune token there. So, now Goldaman can check what Marseille is. So now I would have Van Helsing stay at Genoa and supply. Try to find that 3rd horse. Because there's nothing. I mean, okay. Supply? I would have advanced. Or at the very least move to a big city so that he could supply by night to get an item too. Behind the veil. Okay, there goes one of the fogs. Unfortunately, since the funny thing is, he could have drawn that fog right back, since that was just since he actually kept a card from the Desecrated Soil. The deck the encounter deck was yet to reshuffle, so he actually could have. He actually could have another. He actually could have drawn that fog right back. Wouldn't that be something? A one out of 16 chance, uh, but not impossible. Interesting. Yeah, none of his layers are really all that significant unless he ends up sailing back east. And then moves into them. So, if you have Renewed Vigor, do you use it? We know that this one is either Saragossa or Barcelona. Due to what we know from psychic bonds. So, Saragossa, I suppose I'll say Madrid, Santander, Lisbon? Yeah, not a bad idea. Get a bit more information first. Not a bad idea. Madrid was the second place he visited, so therefore it's Saragossa and not Barcelona. Alright. Definitely a good piece of info that. Yeah, but one must be careful not to overextend into Spain. Alright, now he can... Oh, he's actually... Okay, and he's not in Alicante. Yeah, he's going to scout ahead, see where Dracula could be now. Okay, I'm not sure... I would have moved her to Bordeaux, because that actually could technically be Santander. After Madrid, Santander, Bordeaux. Okay. Discarding a knife. Whoa. My. That's something. It's entirely possible that he simply has horse, heavenly host, knife, or at least had. Be careful how many Night Flies you have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because if yes, but you kind of knew. All right, so in that case, the only thing that rules out is the theory that he could have circled back to Bordeaux. So that doesn't tell you all that much. I imagine that Drac would likely go to sea. If you have Renewed Vigor and the second Forewarned. Yep. If you have the second surprising return, now you can summon and he does. He can now use that to summon Rufus to make he can take a little bit more damage from the sea. Make him easier to kill once you find him. If you find him, of course. So... Okay, yeah, going to Bordeaux, both for Coast Guard purposes and also possibly... Okay, Lisbon. Ah, it was a hide. Well, that means that there's one fewer encounter to clear. So that's good for the hunters. Discarding a stake. So she can now check out Madrid. And now Goldaming and Van Helsing are nicely positioned to help intercept sea movement. So there's definitely hope. There is definitely yet hope for the hunters. Yep, time to equip him. However, this means that he knows that both surprising returns have been used. So a slight downside there. But nonetheless, this will make Dracula take more damage as he goes by sea. So if he ends up choosing to do a long sea voyage, then well, he'll take quite a bit of damage doing so. Alright. Does Seward have the final stake? Because that's now 3 stakes in the discard. It's not impossible, but let's see. Okay, he's searching. No stake. So he's choosing to, I would assume, do a night fight. Yeah, Reckless Vampire. It's about time one of those show up. Plan to ambush. That's good. That's good. And I would imagine now that they've gone through so much of the item pile that Seward may well have a Heavenly Host. So therefore, if he okay, fangs. Okay, that means that Seward has a knife, presumably. Yep. To be fair, I would have done the exact same thing as Dracula. Make sure that he can't just one-shot him with a Heavenly Host. Sure, the hunters have to discard it, if that's the case, but well, nonetheless, and you hardly want Seward to get away with killing this rumor token vamp so easily, and with taking nothing but 2 damage. Claws, and he did a pistol. Okay, that seemed to be a pretty poor combat hand for Dracula, because I don't know why you would do claws next. Okay, so Seward got away scot-free there, apart from the fact that he's going to be stuck there for a couple days. But nonetheless, clearing a rumor token and accounting for the second fog, well, of course the first fog got shuffled back in, but that fog is gone presumably for good, unless this game lasts a good deal longer than I expect it to. Alright. Okay. The trail now. So this is actually very good for the hunters. They've completely cleared the trail. If they have a money trail to keep track of where Dracula lands, then they're in good shape. It is true that Dracula will be scoring fewer Dracula points, but that, despite that being the case, he is almost certainly not going to land at Cadiz or Santander now to avoid taking more Rufus damage. That'd just be kind of silly to do that. So therefore, it makes sense. I mean, he'll move. Which way? I don't know. I think that if I were Dracula, what I would likely do is go to English Channel then and wolf form up into England. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, if they have money trail, hypnosis would be nearly just as good. Mia has an escape route. Huh, if you have an escape route, why are you keeping a holy circle? Okay, so they've drawn the third horse. The hunters have drawn the third horse by now. The question is, who drew it? I hope that's not Seward. Alright. I mean, if Gul'danum drew it, that's fine, because that means that he can now give that to Mina. Yeah. No holy bullets, both crucifixes, all the garlics. So yes, there's definitely potential for it to go either way, but regardless who wins this, they won't go down without a fight, because Dracula is taking damage from the sea, and from Rufus, so he's already taking four damage from the sea, and I would imagine that he's going to move at least one more sea, because that would mean unless that is he plans to stop at Cag. But the thing is, if he does that, that's kind of telegraph. That's a little too obvious for my liking, at least. And then it's possible that the hunters have CG, because while we know that Van Helsing has a heavenly host, and none of them are discarded, so if the hunters have CG, then they have it most likely at full power. And therefore, if Drac gets a little bit careless, they could well end up nuking him, or at the very least causing him to have, or at least the very least causing the 5 damage situation, and if not nuke, like if he stays on the porch, for example. So as Drac, I would move at least one more time by sea. Either North Sea or English Channel. I don't know. Rufus, yeah. Rufus doing this job, making Dracula having taken an extra 2 more damage than he would have otherwise. In total, at present. Now then. I think that this is... Oh, apparently there's still some less than ideal horse economy. But nonetheless, moving not is not the worst of things. Seward is... What are you hoping for? Hoping to draw a Seward. I mean, if you don't have it, money trail, obviously. I would say that now would be a good time to play Money Trail, because if he's gone North Sea or English Channel, you can start moving in that direction. Okay. Be careful. If he moves one more sea space, then there's the possibility that he's in the Ionian Sea. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's still 17 Drac events in there, so he definitely should not Night Supply anymore. So if he's used up all of his Mystic Research supplies, then it's like a 50%. It's just below a 50% chance that he draws that. Is there a money trail? Hypnosis. In fact, that means sticking with Gul'danum. tempts me to believe that that card there is Hypnosis. But just can't say for sure. Just cannot say for sure. Okay, but now Seward's free to move, and since he has since he has a horse, he not at least so long as the tickets cooperate, will be able to leave Spain very swiftly and get to whichever direction Dracula went rather quick. And unless it was discarded, we know that there's an excellent weather somewhere. So going to England might actually be scary as Drac. Okay, wolf roaring ashore. Typical. So, is that Tyrrhenian, English Channel, or North Sea? Or Irish Sea, for that matter. The last of those I kind of doubt. People don't tend to go to the Irish Sea. Alright. So now is definitely the time to play Money Trail, if you have it. Okay, Le Havre. Seward, yeah, gets 2. Gets a horse as far as Bordeaux. That's good, that's good. Money Trail. Alright, which... Tyrrhenian Sea. Alright. So that means that the most likely destination Dracula would pick would be Bari. From Tyrrhenian. Let's see. Trading with Mina. So that seems to imply that Seward picked up the last horse while he was stuck at Lisbon. Which is unfortunate, to be sure. But now, if I'm correct there, Mina will now have a horse and will be able to speed up. But I can't help but think of how much earlier that she could have had that horse if she had simply stayed and supplied a bit longer. If she and Van Helsing had simply supplied a little bit longer, like over here, while they were here at the beginning. Let's see. So he doesn't have the hide card back. Will he feed? And it's possible. Although it is noteworthy that feed doesn't give you Fury Dracula points. So, if he does do that... Oh, he's playing for IDS. I mean, plus, well, 7 HP is not exactly the safest amount to be at, so... Yeah, let's get moving, horses. Alright, let's see. Yep. Good. Ooh, I would have checked Marseille, because he actually could be doubling back. Okay, not there. Oh, Mina's turn to get unlucky. Oh, but Marseille is actually a lair. So, slight whoopsie on it. I suppose well spotted that there. Landsknecht, I missed that. It, so slight whoopsie on Gio's part not to clear that lair. Make it a possibility that he might be doubling back. So therefore we know that he's somewhere in southern Italy. With both Milan and Venice checked and Genoa being a lair, we know that he's somewhere in southern Italy. So I expect that he will now do hide again? Unless, what if the hunters play CG? If they put the permanent token in Verona and then just smoke him out of wherever he is, down in down in southern Italy. The thing is that we know, as I mentioned earlier, we do still know that there is an excellent weather kicking around somewhere. The hunters never used it. Okay. Yep, that's 6 influence. Dracula still has to make 3 more or fewer Dracula moves. However, he could, if he's confident enough that will mature, he could simply go to sea again. Okay, unfortunately, yeah, he stepped into a lair, but there was kind of no avoiding that. Okay, bodyguards. I mean, there are definitely far worse things that could have happened there. Wax cylinders. Oh, okay, you should have done that by night. Slight mistake there. You should have moved now by horse, probably to join Godalming, or possibly to go to Milan. I don't know. I don't know exactly, but yeah. So now Mina. So now, what I would do is, would I do CG now? And you can't nuke him, but you can force him out to sea, and then you can put the permanent token in Verona, so that unless he wants to take another 2 damage from Rufus by going to Ionian, he has to come straight to you. Okay. So, I wonder if the hunters have renewed vigor. If they do, and Dracula stays on land, then next turn is the time to use it. But no, he went to sea. Alright, so if Van Helsing is holding the excellent weather, he should immediately use that to get across to Verona. Okay. Angeldam doesn't have it. Seward. Okay, but who's going to deal with Bari? After all, that rumor token, so long as it's not a new vampire, well, basically, since that's a rumor token, and there's pretty good, vampire lair, that means that, that does, in truth, that doesn't do much, as good as it may seem. That doesn't really do much for them. St. Lisbon are the lands, so... And the thing is, that could easily be the other fog. That could easily be a fog there on Bari. Oh, he's going to the Ionian. Trying to go Pirate Drac. And the thing is, the Trinian, how the thing works now, the Trinian will slide off the trail just in time for him to return to the Trinian, and they've already spent money trail. So, how much do you commit to the east? The thing is that if you commit right now, alright, is that a fog? No, it's a mob. So that's actually not all that scary. And a reckless. The reckless... Really, the only way the reckless makes a difference is if it matures. Mina has several days to deal with this. And what's more, she could have a stake. So... Alright. Bit unfortunate that, but oh well. It is what it is. Strength. Punch. Oh dear. Best be careful. So we know that, in addition to that knife, he has a holy circle plus one other thing. Or wait, Mina showed a pistol to get rid of the rats earlier. Although that may have changed. Wait, he has horse, knife, heavenly host. I see. Mesmerize. Knife again. Yeah, so Mia does not have a stake. She could easily need some help to get rid of this. Fang. Dodge. Nicely done. With both fangs gone, or no, that's only one. Strength and once again a knife. Yeah. Since you have time, I would have just escaped from the get-go. You'd best play dodge here. Keep the holy circle around, but I would just spend the escape route at the beginning of this because you don't have to kill it now. Alright. Okay. So I think Mia will have to may have to withdraw. Well, the thing is she doesn't have the time. If that thing matures, Dracula can just land and win. Van Helsing needs to trade the excellent weather from whoever has it. So that he can get down there and help. Otherwise, I fear that this is going to be game when that vampire matures. Yeah, because that vampire lair that Van Helsing played just isn't enough. So if Dracula lands now, ooh, but the problem with Dracula landing now is that he could, it, yeah, is that he would be vulnerable to CG. In fact, CG would flat out kill him, with him landing from the Ionian. As it would deal 5, then he has to go back out to sea. And he can't. So, there may still be a CG salvation for. Well, no. At this point, they have to clear that vampire. There's no. If the hunters are to win, they have to clear the vampire. There's no two ways about it. If they clear the vampire, then they have a chance, because Dracula's only at 4, thanks to the vampire there. Dracula has to make 3 land moves successfully. And he's down to 4 health. So Heroic Leap would kill him. A CG. There's a serious CG threat. I personally think that he's gone back to the Trinian so that he can land at CAG, as he will get back the majority of his points there. So, I don't know about that. I would have... Local rumors? Huh, that would have... I don't know about that, Sword. Chances are he's returned to the Tyranian. Oh, so Mina's on her own to deal... It's up to her, on her own, to deal with this vampire with only 3 HP. This is... very, very delicate. If the hunters have great strength, then it is admittedly less so. But I personally would begin with Punch. Yeah, this knife is a bit too obvious. But yeah, one more hit and he'll need great strength to stay in this combat. But the thing is, if he does have great strength and he chooses to do a fang or a claw, with a hand stuffed full of escapes. Yes, a claw. Oh. Great strength. Okay, unfortunately the fact that she's escaping means that unless she can 1 health win without great strength, yeah, that needed to be a punch. If she did a punch there and Dracula did not have a way to counter the knife, then she would have killed the vampire. But as it is, Dracula simply has to mature that and then land. I mean, it is a very low IDS win for sure, but it's a win nonetheless. 4 health remaining? That's not bad. GG. I'll play both. Now he simply has to land, regardless which season. I suppose the one hope is that he went Black Sea and then he could play CG to barricade this, in which case Landshek would win, albeit barely. Yep, but as I suspected, he went Turanian. Yeah. So, yeah, that was definitely a good match. It was on the line. I mean, if the hunters had successfully cleared that vampire, I think that they would have had a very good chance to win. So long as they didn't overcommit into the east and took Cagliari into account. So, all right. Let's see. Either of you who wants to do a post-game chat? Game chat? Either of you wants to do a post-game chat? Completely optional. Completely optional. Optional. Completely optional. Oh, to be clear. What? YT? Yes. Yes, a good game. Yes, a good game. Either of you want to do post this game or voice chat? Voice chat? If so, come to the Ernie voice channel 1. Let's see. We'll see if it either. Okay, Geo can't, but what about Lanchet? Let Lanchet. Lanchet? Lanchet? What say you? Let's simply set up it just in case. Alright. In which case, thanks for watching, everyone. I had a few pointers for you, Landsknecht. I think that you could have found that third horse a good deal sooner, and that would have helped you out a deal if you had just been supplying a bit more early. Perhaps I might ask Scott Oxford if he might want to do a post-game review on this one, because this was definitely a close game. Rufus definitely helped you quite a good deal. Only 4 HP at the end, despite ended at 28 days passing. So, yeah, definitely was a good effort, to be sure. In any event, thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, bye bye.